What up? Presumably we're live. Alright, before we do anything, we are going to install some optimization mods because whenever I go live, finally, the game starts lagging like fuck. I also need to put my phone on mute. Did someone join my server? That would be crazy. Do the announcements. Live. That's September 27th. I'll add everyone in live. Yeah. Let's check if my stream is working.
Look at that. Exquisite high-heeled shoe.
Okay. I'm not putting Reese's in a high heel shoe. I should probably put like drops enabled in the title or something. Drops enabled. There we go. Okay, so let's quickly go to Boom Opera GX. CurseForge. Because I manually install all my own mods because who gives a shit about, what people want. Let's quickly change to the gaming scene. Then Opera GX. Surely Game Capture can capture Opera GX, right? Game Skills and Chromium cannot be. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, Game Capture hates Chromium, I guess. Here we go, CurseForge. Alright, now we're gonna look for optimization mods. How do you even put mods on Bedrock? I see Bedrock here. Alright. Performance, there we go. Now we need ones that work with Forge. No, not Forge, Fabric. Why the hell would I ever use Forge? Don't use Forge if you use Forge. Immediate mode render. Alright. Press that little download button. That's for Forge! Okay. Didn't even bother asking me at all. Hold on, real quick. Does modern fixed world work with Stadium? No mod is going to fix 30 minutes of slow time. What the fuck? Okay. I'm probably not gonna use modern fix, you know, cause this is made for Forge. Even though there is, you know, an available for Fabric button here, we don't talk about that. Integrated Intel graphics. Yes, but I have a GT 620, so let's fucking find out. 1.20.1 Fabric Magic. And now we just download these straight into the mods folder because I have no sense of, you know, self-preservation. Who gives a shit if this is a virus? I probably have like 100 viruses on my computer anyway. Alright. Time to eat the cheeseburger that I had to microwave because I forgot to eat yesterday. Oh, I remember I installed Irish because I tried to load complementary series shaders with this PC. Surprisingly, I actually got like 5 FPS, which is a lot more than I expected, to be fair. But even though it was a lot more than I expected, it was still shit. So alright. So the game is preparing. Let me quickly close Opera. So oh, I also have my bot running in the background, which is not fun. It's preparing. Oh, the Minecraft launcher just disappeared. Pause here. My camera is no longer rendering. Okay, it should be fine now. So where's Minecraft? Oh, I see Minecraft. Game capture. Minecraft. Ooh, and now I have sodium in here. So let's see if this is 1.20.4. Fuck you mean? Is it offline? Jesus Christ, man. Did you take it offline, Mia Nico? It's not offline. I don't think. It's online. With 2 players, it's using 38% of the 2650 megabytes of RAM, which I assume is 2 gigabytes. And now it is sodium. What if I put this on full screen? Does anyone know an OBS plugin that can resize windows to fit a certain frame? Because this is like on another scale of like dumb shit. Yeah, it doesn't fit the frame. That's partly my fault. Actually, that's not my fault. I stole this off the internet. It was free. Okay, now I disable preview. And now I have a smooth 15 FPS. Yeah, so Sodium did like nothing. I'd rather do this and be able to see my game on my OBS. But I'll still turn off the preview anyway. There you go, we have a... I don't want to say working game, because that'd be coping. This is how water works in real life, guys. Don't worry. Presumably I have a bunch of seeds. I'm pretty sure I have some melons, but I don't have the resources for a melon farm. Because I'm pretty sure that requires slime, and I can't build a slime farm on account of the fact that actually I don't know. I checked the slime, hold on. If we go and look for slime farm and we look at the material list, this is feasible. I could probably make a slime farm. I'll do that once I'm done with the creeper farm there. I swear I just heard it drown. I'm not schizo. Boom, boom. Empty, empty, empty. I will go over to his place once I made the bed. Boom. And we'll put these away because resources are scarce in this place. Don't look at how many stacks of dirt I have in my chests. Yeah, I built this. It doesn't look that good. I had dug that hole and that plot, and I built that sugarcane and bamboo farm. Automatic sugarcane and bamboo farm, automatic being the keyword. I built that tower of diorite and copper. I call it the ward of the doctor. Actually, people kept on comparing me to, like, you know, there's two things people comparing with: Doctor Who and Doctor Disrespect. They're like, oh, you got the man and everything. Are you this fan? Like, no, I did not know who he was, and I also didn't know who Doctor Who was. I still don't know, actually, to be fair. I beg your pardon. What are you shooting at, buddy? Is Julian up there? Oh, motherfucker. Okay, bozo. I'm decked out in full diamond armor with a netherite chestplate. I will make it. I shall endure. I have arrived. Why is this all soul sand? Like, switch it with soul soil. This is so triggering. Especially when my FOV keeps changing whenever I just try to jump on soul sand. It is like, bruh. Schizophrenia. No, not schizophrenia. Epilepsy. Is it possible to make a fully automatic like farm? This is the path that I built. You know why? Because there's no fucking soul sand. I would rather traverse like this. There we go, see? That's soul soil, so I can leave that part empty. And that's a skeleton, so we're gonna move our asses. I've died more times to fall damage than I have to monsters. The only time that I've actually died to monsters is when I get jumped by like 5 or 6 of them at the same time. Oh, my soul rankings. And the apparently 3 spare chains that I have left is like that. Yeah, I don't know why, but I made like 3 stacks of soul mansions. And I have a fuck ton of torches up there. And I don't know why. You know. Even if you asked me, I would not know. Did I finish replanting all this? Yeah. So what I want to do, correction, what I need to do is I need to expand that. Expansion, domain expansion. That's what this is. And I can leverage this water channel here. As I was saying, we're just gonna like, you know, dig and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna dig from the bottom up actually, that's what I'm gonna do. So that one is, what height is that? Because the water is there, right? Yeah, the water's right there. And then the chests are here. The hoppers are here. first is one up, and it's 3 blocks long, so it's this much. I have a standard pattern. And then the next one is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. There we go. So we will dig here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how far I should dig. That's too far. This to here, so we'll do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just so I can mark out where the boundaries are. We just dig sideways and boom, we crap everything in the middle. Alright. And then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go back to our chests. Why is there... I'm gonna blame that on me. Why is this? Just like, don't do that. That's extremely triggering. And then the next one up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a cave? Fuck my life, bro. Hey, no way. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. There we go. Bruh. Well, at least creepy crawlies can't spawn in here because it's all water, but still. Like, this is annoying as fuck. And the other reason why it's annoying is I can put water down that channel, down the side channel here. Boom. 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 Lighting. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. That's just people don't get scared off if they hear luminouses. But there's nothing I can do to fix that because that one, underneath that one, there's like a big fat fucking cave as well. So, yeah. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't need this because it's all gonna be blocked up. What's the next one like? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2. I need to go 2 across. Boom. Now presumably if I mine this, there's gonna be a cave underneath here. Oh no, the cave. Alright, let's sleep. Presumably he sleeps as well. Do I get dropped some streaming Minecraft? Or do I only get dropped some watching it? I'm genuinely curious. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top, so 1, 2, 3, oh, there we go. That's not something happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. Oh yeah, did any of you guys watch Hephaestus's debut? There's a new VTuber. Her name is Hephaestus. She's with the Mythos VTuber agency, where all they do is make, like, you know, ancient Greek gods. It's a pretty basic concept. I recall her saying that she was gonna get into developing on Java. So, you know, starting off with those the low languages. I know. What would you consider Java to be? I consider it to be a low-level programming low-level language. Well, like compared to, like, you know, a lot of other things, it's pretty low on that scale. I don't know. It depends on, like, you know, the C-suite. All of that is just like extremely low level, you know, and then below that you just have like fucking assembly. I am waiting for a I'm just waiting for a short that comes out of Pirate Software that just says I remade Chromium in assembly. I have 3 viewers. Let's find out who's here. No one. Why'd I hear? But I just heard a skeleton. I'm not even kidding. Alright. Shovel. Boom, boom. And now that we have a brand new shovel, does the enchantment point thing reset? Or oh, it does. What the fuck? Hey yo! I still don't have enough enchantment points. Where are my diamonds? There we go. Oh, never mind. Full repair. Magic. As you can tell that I'm really sleepy because I woke up at 8 AM to watch Feifei's debut. She's gonna be a good VTuber, presumably. Spooky wooky skeletons. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Alright, so how do we do this? Let's start by doing like a channel down here. We're gonna make it one block down so the water can't fall sideways. Motherfucker! That's just low. This world generation is scoring me right now. It is actually just like, bruh. Like, legitimately, bro. What the fuck? Oh, no hole, no hole. Oh, based, no more holes. That sounded really out of context. Cool. I hear a drown. I hear that. Yes, I do hear it. My phone just vibrated to tell me that I got a tweet from someone that I follow. Fuck's sake, bro. That's like, you know. What the fuck is this? It doesn't drop? Bruh. Alright, I need some birch wood. Let's source some birch wood. It's just occurred to me that most farms, automatic farms, rely on ticks and chunk rendering. chunk it only goes by like simulation distance, right? And I set the simulation distance to 6 chunks. So if there are no other players near me, it's not gonna run, right? And also it runs on ticks, so for every extra automatic farm I add, it's gonna lower the chance of another one of my crops actually growing. Am I right? So technically I'm fucked. The more crops I add, the slower it'll go. I don't know. I read about that somewhere. I read something like that somewhere. That it runs on ticks, and each tick does it run a tick on every single block? So like every single block, it runs like a percent chance of something happening. Because if it did, that would be really really unoptimized, right? It would just start like crashing everything if you didn't have like fucking 10,000 CUDA cores in your graphics card. I don't know. I never worked with Java. Maybe Java is just good at this kind of stuff. Or maybe I'm just stupid. Yeah. I make Discord bots. I am stupid. I make Discord bots play Minecraft. I'm uneducated and I don't have a job. And I can't get a job because I never actually finished school. And in Australia, you have to have a rosa to get a job. Because, yeah, the Department of Education in Australia basically just gatekeeps jobs. So if I wanted to get a job, I would actually have to go back to school. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to go back to school. Um, yeah, it's a very unrewarding experience being in school in Australia because the education system, I mean, like, it will start with the fact that it's corrupt as fuck. It's full of it's run by a bunch of extremely corrupt people. And, it being a state government office, I mean, like, we have a lot of bad things in New South Wales on a federal and on a state level. From the state, we have the influence of people like John Barilaro. He's not the premier anymore. In fact, he pulled out because of YouTubers harassing him. But he still has a shocking amount of influence, and it's extremely detrimental to our state. And then you have people like you know Albanese, who is the prime minister, who is passing, who's trying to pass the disinformation bill, which would fine big companies for letting you have free speech. In Australia, we don't actually have free speech. It is implied free speech. But now Australia is turning that implied free speech into no free speech. So there will no longer be an implied free speech. You are basically not allowed to say what you want anymore. And while the ACMA doesn't have the power to actually get you arrested, because if Albanese actually put in there, they can prosecute the person behind. Oh no, actually, they have to hand over IP addresses. I read in the bill that these companies are also required to hand over IP addresses, so they could just give your information to the police. So yes, you can be arrested. I didn't even think about that. Huh. I am fucked. I've said so many bad things about the government, the state government and the federal government. The state government can just abuse federal privileges, just like they always do. Like 100% of the time. Oh, I'm so fucked. I'm literally gonna go to jail if this bill passes. '07, guys. I'm actually going to jail if this bill passes. Someone just unfollowed me. I have 169 followers. I had 170 a moment ago. Fuck my life, bro. Uh, yeah. And then you have people like Dominic Perrottet, whose main focus is to make parents happy. You know, you should vote for me because I will take the phones out of school. And then they voted for him. And that's the thing. He's so focused on, like, because I don't know if this is true or not. Personally, I think the hardest votes to get are the ones from the parents because they will only choose. Well, most parents will choose what's good for their children. Don't know about you, and I don't know what that says about you if you don't do that. But like most parents will choose what's good for their children, or what they think is good for their children. And parents think that taking phones out of schools is good for their children. I don't know how people come to that conclusion, but taking phones out of schools is somehow good for your children. Yeah. Now, I'm going to say that the phone is a form of distraction. You could argue that the phone is a distracting device, but also giving the school a right to rob your child. Yeah, because technically that's already illegal. The bring your own device thingy is illegal. It's like the teachers reserve the right to remove your devices from you and confiscate them for a day. That's theft. You are not no, you're not even stealing from the child. You're stealing from the parents if you take the device from the child. And also the children are signing it. The students are putting their names on it. They are signing it and then bringing devices that they don't own to school. So legal? No, actually it's absolutely not legal. But they do it anyway because they don't. Because here's the thing about the Department of Education I've learned: every single policy they pass, they have never ever consulted a lawyer. They do not consult the public. They do whatever the fuck they want, and they get away with it. And that is the detriment. They are the Department of Education is a detriment to the education of the students. You know, if you want your children to be well educated, don't don't come to New South Wales. In New South Wales, teachers commit crimes. They harass children in ways that I will not be speaking of on Twitch because I'm affiliated, which means there's a higher chance that I will be watched by a moderator or by some snarky dude who's waiting to get me banned. He's waiting to like mass report me. But in New South Wales, politicians are on like another scale of corruption. You think fucking taking you think the U.S. government telling Meta to forcing them to shut up about something and take down posts about a certain topic is election interference? Oh, it's on another scale. Teachers will threaten to whack children here. I'm not even kidding. It's not legal anymore in Australia. I know there are some states in America where it's still illegal to hit children, but in Australia, it is certainly 100% not illegal in every state, and it is shocking. And also the teachers here, they swear a lot. I'm gonna say that that's not too bad of a thing. Swearing is sort of like an Australian culture. You call me cunt, I call you cunt. But there are just some words you can't say. And there are some words that you shouldn't say in the way that you speak of. You know. Don't like go around swearing to a primary schooler. In high school, sure, that's fine. Take away all the no swearing rules in high school. You know? But like, you know, if you're gonna be screaming at a kid for swearing in a class, you gotta have your priorities straight. You teaching the kid? What are you teaching the kid? Are you teaching the kid to be polite or are you teaching them to be smart? Because a smart person needs to know how to raise a good argument. If they get told to shut up every time every time they swear, it doesn't teach them to have a logical debate, because you need to wait for someone to come over and actually give them a logical reason to argue back. I don't know if any of what I'm saying makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but I don't know if it makes sense to any of you guys. But yeah, there's just some things that schools shouldn't do. Schools should not teach children how to program. That is something you should learn on your own. Do you know why? So, the New South Wales education system has endorsed a program called Khan Academy. Go search up. KHAN Academy. And supposedly you are supposed to learn programming. And there's another skill of dipshit, because they expect you to learn how to program the same way you learn how to do math. They teach you the thing, and then you do like 3 examples of it, and then they expect you to remember. This is how all education is done in New South Wales, and that's why it's dog shit. And that's why no one remembers what you learn in school, because they expect you to remember it the first time. And with programming, I find that the best way to learn is to fuck with something that already works. But instead, they get you to make small macros from the ground up, and then you make macros for very separate things, and they don't teach you how to integrate it with each other. They don't teach you how to they don't teach you how it completely works. They don't teach you any niche factors. And they only teach you how to do Python 3. And that's why I don't know how to use Python. Sure, I can do like a print function, and that's about it. I'm not even kidding. That's about all I can do in Python. Because it's just like, you cannot. You need to give someone a working piece of code. So the best way I'd say to teach someone to program is to engineer a piece of code where you can take certain parts out of it and it still works, but differently. And so you can find out what each function does. What happens if I take this out? Will there be a critical error if this happens? Why is there a critical error when this happens? And you got to make it nice and interactive. And so when you take the code out and then run it, they see, oh, this happens, and then they can go and click a little light bulb or something to find out why that happened. Or you could just, the other thing, when you get something wrong or you make code that throws errors, they don't tell you what the errors mean. There's a console, but they don't teach you how to read a debug log. They don't teach you how to read a console log, an error. That is the most important thing. If you know how to read the error, you know how to fix it. Because after you read the error, all you have to do is Google, how do I fix this? And then you put in what your problem is. And then you will nine times out of 10, you will find an excellent Stack Overflow forum that tells you what you did wrong, how you got it wrong, and how you can fix it. It's not going to give you the specific solution to your specific piece of code, unless your code is extremely generic, but it's going to give you an example of how to do it right. It's going to teach you a concept, and then you will learn, because you made an issue, you made an error, and you will learn from that mistake. But instead, in Khan Academy, it's just like, oh, something went wrong. Fucking fix it. We're not going to tell you how you did it wrong. Figure that out on your own. It's just like, no. It's just like telling someone to write code on a whiteboard and then telling them they got it wrong. The whiteboard does not have syntax highlighting. I'd hate to tell you this, but, I deeply rely on that. Because I am very code illiterate, to an extent. All the Discord bots that I make, I don't actually know how to write in JavaScript. Well, I do, but it's a very minimal amount of knowledge that relates only to making Discord bots. And then all my programming knowledge is entirely in JavaScript. But it's to my limited amount of knowledge, I know how to read a debug log, tell what's wrong, and fix it. You know, I have skills higher than average. I'm not a good programmer, but my skills are certainly higher than average, and it's because I took a Discord bot and I messed with it. You know, I looked up how I could make different commands. I read the documentation, which didn't help me at all, and I ended up googling everything because I'm not good at reading documentation. But we don't talk about that. Where are the monsters? I need to kill something because I need XP because my helmet's about to die. Yeah, that's what happens when you put rain and enderman. Is that a spider? Motherfucker! Are the skeletons shooting each other? Oh! You shooting me now. They are shooting each other. Battle Royale. Oh my god, everything is... Okay, cool. That is enough XP. Diamond armor is not gonna save me from getting mugged by like 5 different things. Alright. Yeah, diamond armor is not gonna save me from getting mobbed by that many monsters. I'ma be real. It just occurred to me that I probably want to make a separate lever system for both of these because they're gonna go at different paces. Which means time to move this fucking lever. No! Wait a minute! Oh my god, all my crops. Half of them were not done growing, brother. Oh, one of them is shot straight past. I do not need that many seeds. I only need this many. Alright. Hold up, guys. I'm back, guys. I'm pretty sure the majority of those were not done growing, so now I'm fucked. Yeah, so that's the thing about this if some troll decides, oh, let's pull the lever, or if someone accidentally pulls it, they're like, oh, what does this do? And then all my ongoing crops are screwed. So what I should do is I should find a way of making it actually protect when the crops are grown. Unfortunately, there is no way to do that. Bruh, I'm going 1 block down. Epic gaming skills. Me trying not to fill up all the hoppers so I'm evenly distributing them. Did I just throw in all my bread? Yeah, I did. Alright. Where's the bread? Oh yeah, actually I was watching Evanito's stream today. If none of you know who Evanito is, go Google him. Become based. But Evanito, he is a. I would hesitate to say he is a reaction channel, but he does reaction content. There we go. And I noticed that he had a new rule, and that rule was don't say the word simp. And I thought, huh, he's so traumatized from Nux Taku's thingy, the simp contest, that he banned the word simp. Huh. Cause Nux Taku, he made a simping contest where a whole bunch of YouTubers would find the most simp content and show it to him, and then he was supposed to grade them. And I think he's so traumatized from it now that he just straight up banned the word simp from his chat. You just get auto-botted for saying it, and I saw the world like, oh, I'm not gonna test that, but also that's funny. I can't replace it with a button. You know why? Because it's not gonna stay down unless I shove a redstone torch somewhere. Fuck! I have sticks, right? And cobblestone. No. Boom. I like don't need these. Oh, actually, I believe. You know why? Because occasionally I have to manually activate this. Mari Yume is live. Yume is on Twitch? What? I thought she was a YouTube streamer. Eh. YouTube streamer? Sure. Let's call it that. Mari Yume, the YouTube streamer. I barely take any damage from that, because I'm a Giga Chad, as you know. Fuck's sake. Even if I turn it on silent mode, I will never ever escape the vibrating. And the vibrating is debatably different. Let's join thousands of quitting babes. So here's the thing. I find it interesting because this current generation, and I've done my research, the current generation that we live in, I'm like, if Gen Alpha, yeah, Gen Alpha is the brainwave skibidi generation, then I'm Gen Z. And there's been research done where the majority of Gen Z actually believes that smoking is bad. So that's a positive, right? But then when you turn around and ask them, is vaping bad? That's when you start to see inconsistencies because Gen Z have somehow been taught to differentiate between smoking and vaping. And so, all of that marketing and research that has gone behind putting nicotine from smoking behind bars has just all gone out the window. You know, vaping. I I can tell you that vaping is just as bad as smoking. It's not different. It makes you just as addicted. It's not a good thing. You should not vape and you should not smoke. Just like how you should not excessively consume alcohol or you should not excessively gamble. But the different thing about the difference between like gambling and smoke slash vaping is that vaping can get you instantly addicted. Gambling cannot. If you do it once, you can have the mental willpower to stop after one round. But the chemicals that smoking and vaping put into your head is not something that you will forget very easily. It's like doing crack, smoking crack. You know, most people who smoke crack for the first time will keep smoking crack for the rest of their life. And I would venture to say that cocaine and nicotine are equally as deadly. Lung cancer is not a good thing to have, so don't vape. This is very important, kids. Don't vape. Do not smoke. Do not vape. It doesn't make you cooler. You are putting chemicals in your body. Chemicals that would normally be in like cleaning products. If someone is telling you that vaping is cool, you need to learn to have that self-control because it's not cool. It damages you. It and I'm gonna say that me saying this is I feel like me saying this is a completely redundant and useless because my reach is not nearly wide enough for anyone to recognize what I'm saying of any importance, but it is still very important. Do not vape, do not smoke. It's just like not on. And what the government needs to do is if they actually care about children, it's not to take phones out of schools, it's to take vapes out of schools. Okay? Smoking is illegal in Australia for anyone under 18. And the government needs to pass a legislation. I don't know if they've done that yet or not, but if they haven't, they really need to. They need to pass a legislation now that says that anyone under 18 cannot vape either. Let me check this. Is it illegal to vape under 18? This is interesting. Just like tobacco products, selling any vape or vape accessories to anyone under the age 18 years of age is illegal in New South Wales. But that's the thing. You say it's illegal, but I feel like vaping is not nearly enforced as hard as smoking. You know, because I see when I was still in school at the time, and there was a school I went to called Killara High before I went to North Sydney Boys, and their silly little stupid gay fucking support unit. And I constantly saw seniors in the bathroom, like year 10, people around how old I am now, 16, vaping. And, I was the silly little dumb kid, so I thought, oh, why didn't I help them out and teach them a little something? And I got beat up for telling them that vaping is bad and also illegal. The report was to the police. I started pulling out my phone and I got beat up for it. So, don't call the police in front of them. That's another thing. If you're being bullied, don't call the police on the bully. When you're looking, like when you're in the bully, get like a safe distance away from the bully before you actually put effort and start ringing the coppers. That's life lessons, guys. Life lessons. But the more important thing is that they seem to think I know this because I also asked students in North City Boys. I conducted my own separate research. It's definitely not going to be comparable to what the state and the federal government can do in terms of their like federal surveys, but I had comparable results. I found that people under the age of 18 thought that smoking was bad. And I asked them, what about vaping? And they were like, I don't know. Most of the answers would either be, I don't know, or it's not as bad as smoking. Vaping is better than smoking. If you're gonna do either, if I was gonna do either, I'd rather vape than smoke. I'm like, and I'm thinking, but what's the difference? Because none of these students seem to have actually looked into what's in that vape, and it's basically what's in the same as a cigarette. If a cigarette company started selling vapes, it wouldn't be on. It would be like hard solo. You'd cop a lot of backlash for it. But if a vape company started selling cigarettes, I feel like no one would notice. But my point: don't vape. Don't vape or smoke. Both are equally just as bad. You are just as likely to get lung cancer from vaping than you are from smoking. You will still get lung cancer. The lung cancer is not good. The treatment, it is horrendous. It is scary. It is not something that you want to experience. Unless you're like a masochist. Which in that case, go see a therapist. But vaping can ruin someone's life just as much as smoking can. I just want my audience of 2 people to understand that vaping is not on. If you ever come into my chat and you start promoting vaping, I'm reporting you to Twitch. Because I feel like vape marketing right now is heavily targeting the younger generation, even though it should be extremely illegal, even though there are government offices to prevent this. They do nothing about vaping. And it's not like the hands are full of smoking advertisements that are being passed on to children, because cigarette companies have learned the lesson. But also the other thing is, I think parents don't think vaping is as bad as smoking either. If I went out and asked, if I went to Chatswood right now and asked random parents I saw on the street, would you rather your kid smoke or vape? I feel like the majority of answers I would get would be vape. That I wouldn't have that many people actually tell me, oh, it's equally as bad, and I don't want my children to have either. I feel like people perceive this as choosing the lesser of 2 evils, and they think that vaping is the lesser of 2 evils. It's simply not. It is the same product in a different packaging. They are both nicotine. They will both basically ruin your life, your career. Once you get addicted to it, you won't be able to stop, because that's what an addiction is. If you can't stop, you can say you can stop. You can cope and see it and be like, oh, I can stop whenever. But until you actually demonstrate that you can stop, it's not happening. That's why people who are getting off smoking need nicotine patches, because they're not addicted to the smoke or the vape. They're addicted to the nicotine. And inhaling that shit is deadly as fuck. Not instant death, but over time, it gets deadlier and deadlier and your lungs get smaller and smaller. And it gets harder for you to breathe. It gets harder for you to live without having a cigarette. And I know people who cannot sleep. They'll wake up in the middle of the night just to go and have a ciggy. One of them is my cousin's. I have a cousin who's like that. His life is ruined by cigarettes, and I shut up and I don't say anything about it, and I don't tell him he's addicted because he goes to the gym and he's like really fat and fucking bulky, and he'd beat me up in an instant if he didn't like what I was saying, you know. So don't smoke, don't vape. It's not choosing the lesser of two evils. They are both equally just as bad. When you smoke or vape, you lose. There is no better option. You are not better for vaping than you are for smoking. If you look what the message needs, there needs to be a message that needs to be put in the school curriculums, and it needs to be very clear cut and obvious. The teachers should like have this on every classroom. And it is you are not cooler for vaping than you are for smoking. Both are just as fucking bad. So just put that on a poster and put it in every classroom. And I'm gonna say that scare tactics don't always work, but generally, you know, it's like the time when Queensland government put out the, you know, flirting with death one. So they made an advertisement where someone was quote unquote flirting with death because they were texting on their phone while driving. And I feel like that was extremely insensitive on their part because it's not funny. It's not funny. It's just not a funny topic in general. You put humor into something to make someone share it, but at what risk? You run the risk of having them not think it's this very serious, you know, advertisement. But it is deadly serious. It is you do not want to be in a car crash, and it's also illegal to use your phone while driving. That's why that law is even there in the first place. It's because so many people have gotten into accidents while driving and looking at their fucking phone that they had to put that law there. But then Queensland police comes in and makes a joke out of it. And when you see police making a joke out of driving while using your phone, it's just like that's just insensitive, bro. Whoever led that marketing campaign, that's just insensitive. It's not funny. It's certainly targeted at children because it was not released on free to air television. No, it was entirely a social media campaign, and that's just not gonna get you a very lot of attention. I mean, like, sure, you'll get your attention for the police are not serious about driving while using phones. You know, it gives people it sort of like empowers people to use phones while they're driving because they're like, oh, if the police aren't serious about it, why should I be? But I feel like that's not a message you should be projecting, especially if it is a social media campaign directed at children. You should definitely not, in under any circumstances, be giving off the notion, you should not be giving them any reason to believe that you are not serious about driving while using a phone because that is a major cause of death. And, you know, road accidents are not good. They are not fun. It is, it's sickening. You know, it was a very insensitive advertising campaign. I'm into marketing, if you can't tell. I'm also into telling the government what they've done wrong in like everything they do, you know. But yeah, back to the vaping thing. You know, the mark the way the government's like, oh sure, we'll tell your kids not to vape. We're making precautions. But I feel like what they've gotten wrong is they're hiring social media marketing teams instead of doing what they normally do, which is scare people into doing something. You know, smoking is bad. You're gonna fucking die. You know, they also need to enforce putting, you know, how you put like, you know, you risk getting lung cancer on a cigarette package. They need to put that on vapes. They need to have it legalized and put onto vapes the same way they put those little mini posters of like, you know, smoking can cause lung cancer. They need to do that with vapes. Vaping can cause lung cancer. So every time an under 18-year-old kid gets a fucking vape, where are the monsters, brother? I have an idea. Boom. It's down here, right, somewhere. No, nothing down here. There aren't any monsters nearby. And I know this for a fact. Alright. Oh, there's a drown somewhere. I see. Like a single. There aren't any monsters like nearby, I guess. But like nearby. Like comprehensively nearby. There you go. So yeah. There needs to be stricter enforcement on vaping with children. Because right now, these vaping marketers, they're doing something very sleazy. They are targeting children. And it needs to stop, and it needs to stop very soon. Before we have a new generation that's ruined by nicotine. Yeah. The last generation was ruined by nicotine, and now these nicotine companies, they found a way around it. And they're gonna do it again because they know once you get addicted, you will be a permanent customer. They only need you to take one draft, and you are becoming a permanent customer. And they know this. And so they are preying on that tactic by making an entirely different product that's not a different product. They're reskinning their products in order to avoid, you know, law enforcement. And it's very, very sleazy. What the hell? Hello, Kurai. Rules say I can advertise. Yo, back. What are the mobs? Too many switches. Raping? No, vaping. Brother. Yeah, so what advertising companies doing? They are being very sleazy. They are marketing towards children, you know. It's similar to Solo. So Solo put out an ad and they made a product called Hard Solo. You know Solo, which is the brand that makes like carbonated lemonade. They made something called Hard Solo, which is Solo with alcohol in it. Now, if there's something that you never do, because Solo has always been marketed as like beer, you know, beer without alcohol, and so it was marketed as like beer for children. And you know, if you are a company doing that sort of thing, marketing yourself as like, you know, beer for children, there's one thing you never ever do. You do not cross that line of putting alcohol in your drinks, especially if you are marketing to children. It was like a gross, disgusting boundary overstep. It's like someone had actually, I mean, like, Solo actually had to have a board of directors sit around and say, oh, we're going to make this product. And nobody on that board was brave enough to put their hand up and say, this is a stupid product and we're going to cop a lot of backlash for it. And you know what happened? They copped a lot of backlash for it. If you're a soft drink company, never ever go into the alcohol industry. You know, if you're an alcohol industry and you want to make soft drinks with alcohol in them, sure. But if you are a soft drink, if you are a soft drink company, you know, like Coke, Pepsi, Never ever make a product with alcohol in it. That is extremely irresponsible. It is simply just like, no. And it's the same with vaping, you know? It's like, how is the government okay with with enforcing like cigarette bans, but they're like being so slow on vape bans, you know? They have the information. They know that it is basically the same product. And so why aren't they enforcing a law that takes it out of schools? Why aren't they doing the same thing as they did with tobacco and putting signs on it, packaging on the little messaging on the packaging that says vaping is gonna give you lung cancer. They did that with cigarettes. Why can't they do that with vapes? You know, it's already illegal. Drive home that point to children and say vaping is not cooler than smoking. You know, like I said earlier, they have done surveys. There have been surveys done that show that children think that smoking isn't good for you. But then when you ask them about vaping, they're like, which is better, vaping or smoking? They always say vaping because they've been taught to differentiate by the cigarette and tobacco. Also glad when I heard Chilled complain about someone vaping. I don't know who that is, but it is the same industry. You can't just take tobacco out and put nicotine in and then be like, oh, it's a whole different product. They're just as they those two have the it will make you just as addicted, you know. And these companies know because the way they market, it makes you curious. It makes you curious. Oh, what does a vape taste like? Surely I won't be, addicted. You know, I just want to know what it feels like. I just know what it tastes like, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to get curious and just take that one swab, that one draft. Because once you take that first draft, they know you're becoming a customer for life. They know they have made a permanent customer. And the more kids they get to become curious and go and buy their products, the more permanent customers they get because it is a permanent addiction. You know, quitting vaping and smoking does not mean what it means because you will still be spending money for the rest of your life on nicotine patches made by the same fucking companies. You know, so even if you quit smoking, they are making the problem essentially. They get you into smoking, you know, which they say is not a problem, and once you find out it's becoming a problem, they get you to buy the nicotine patches. And presumably nicotine patches are, cheaper. No, nicotine patches are more expensive. But lots of Gen Z watch him because he's well known for social deception. Seeing someone popular with Gen Z hating on and vaping for being bad on your lungs, yay. Well, yeah, because there's research that shows that it's bad for you. And the problem is that children are not understanding it. And in terms of a marketing perspective, there's a lot of parents out there who disavow scare tactics or fear marketing. But fear marketing has been shown to work, you know? Because if you're gonna get a social media marketing team and you're gonna put something on there, something funny, if you're joking about it, if the government is putting out, so it's like, there are two problems here. If you make a marketing tactic and then you put it on social media, do you want it to be funny or serious? Because if it's funny, more people are gonna share it, but less people are gonna take it serious. But if it's like a very serious message, less people are going to share it, but more people are going to be educated. And so then you have this third round of actually just paying the social media company to like show your video or marketing to more people. And that's the problem. The government is cheaping out on this in New South Wales. They have put out messages saying that vaping, smoking, both of those things are bad for you. And Gen Z knows that smoking is bad for you. It's just that it's not reaching enough people. That's why I say put a poster in every classroom that says vaping does not make you cooler. Just as vaping is just as bad as smoking. because it is the same thing. Yeah, they need to try harder here. I feel like it's an equal in every country. I'm gonna give them that, it is a relatively new product compared to tobacco, but you've also had a lot because we live in like the 21st century. It's not that hard to find out what's inside a product and what it can do to you. And so we found out a lot faster that vaping is just as bad as smoking. So they should also act faster, I'd say. They've had that reasoning. They've had a reason to act faster. So just like do something about it. They can do it for tobacco. The amount of people that smoke weed or sing cigs is surprising. Look, I don't use dating apps, so I wouldn't know. But if there's an increase, that's generally not a good thing. Like this in my generation, we learned in elementary school that this stuff is bad. Yeah, it's good. If the schools are proactively teaching children that addictive substances are actually addictive, and parents and the government are not joking. Don't take that cigar that some random old man is giving you. But people do it anyways. Well, yeah. Well, the reason why they do it is because they're addicted. Because they got curious. They're like, is it really that bad? Let's fucking find out. And that's the tactic that marketers use when you go to addictive things like crack and vapes and cigars. They use marketing that make you curious. Is it really that bad? They want you to question it. They want you to try it once. And once you've tried it once, you'll try it a second time. And then a third time. And then a fourth time. And it doesn't stop. I'm curious about how strong, but don't do it. It's not an experiment that you want to test. If you really want to test it, go look at research that has been done with lab rats, literally. It's like sugar. Sugar is addictive. When a rat was given the choice between alcohol and sugar after a week of exposure between both, the rat chose sugar 9 times out of 10. And it was the same with nicotine. Given the choice between nicotine and alcohol, a rat chose nicotine the majority of the time. I don't know how that graph would look if you put sugar and nicotine and a rat, but they definitely used alcohol as like the base, as like a baseline, because alcohol is easy to get addicted to. But I want to see us, yeah. But I'll never try, and you should never try. It's not an experiment to test. Because why is it so hard for people to stop? Is because it is addictive, and you can see this. It is very consistent all throughout. People who have smoked once will smoke again, and so don't think you're so different from the rest of humanity. Who's online, Julian? Don't think you are so different from the rest of humanity. Don't think just because you think you're stronger, it doesn't mean you're stronger. And that's what they want. And that's another thing that marketing does. You're stronger. You can quit anytime. You can control how much you smoke. That's basically what these advertisements are saying. I am different. Yeah. That's what they want you to think, and then they want you to take that first shot. They want you to buy a first pack, and they want you to try it out, because they know that you're not different, and I know that you're not different, and I'm not different either. I've never actually seen ads for cigs. I mean, like they don't. I don't think YouTube really likes cigarette ads, so you won't see many of those on YouTube and like online media. But on free to air television, on like some of the smaller channels, some of the lesser watched channels, like the comedy ones, there are occasionally cigarette advertisements, and then on like billboards and posters, there's a lot of billboard and poster ads for cigarettes. I've seen, but also the reason why there's a lot less is because basically they're relying on the fact that people are going around saying, "Oh, cigarettes are bad," and that's the other problem. You need to enforce the fact that cigarettes are bad, because if you just say cigarettes are bad, people are gonna be like you. They're gonna be like, "Oh, but I'm better than that. I can stop when I want." You need to actually scare people into realizing that you are not any different. You cannot stop whenever you want. I've seen ads for vaping ages ago. I still see ads for CBD oil and not like blunts. There are a lot of vaping ads on New South Wales television. Unfortunately, you know. Just the other day, I was on ABC iView. I was rewatching an episode of Gruen that I had missed from 4 months ago. Because I missed the season finale from 4 months ago because I was on holiday. So and what in the first little ad that pops up is, you know, the first ad that because Gruen is a show, and what they do is they criticize advertising and marketing. They dissect marketing in the form of comedy, and so they get the worst ads of the week on Australian television, and then they shit on it. And then after they shit on it, they tell you why the marketers went that way. They try to explain it by getting a bunch of very well-known marketers and researchers. And the first the first they showed like 3 different vaping ads. They definitely criticized all of them. All of them had their flaws, but 3 different vaping ads on Australian air television, free to air television. Not even Australian, New South Wales free to air television. It's like, how do you get away with this? And all of them, I recall exactly remembering, all of them were definitely pushing it towards children. It's just like, really though? I'm gonna jump into my best friend's stream for 2 minutes before bed, so that is very good info. Well, I try. I have like 2 viewers. But, you know, I'm rambling because it's just disgusting to me that advertisers can just do this and get away with it. It's shocking, I guess. I take great insult at the fact that, you know, you think that you can fuck with a minor by telling them that vaping is different from smoking because you know they won't research. Well, they're relying on the fact that kids will just assume, will just believe what everyone else says, you know, or the fear of missing out. They're relying on the fear of missing out for you to vape. They want you to vape because they want you to feel bad for not vaping because everyone else is doing it. Spoilers, not everyone else is doing it. It's just sad how they can get away with it. Well, see you later, Kura, I guess. So guys, don't smoke, don't vape. Neither of those will make you cooler. Ever. You are not cooler. I promise you this. I promise from the bottom of my heart to all the kids that watch this, vaping, I promise you, is not a good thing. Do not vape. Do not condone vaping. Don't joke about it. Because vaping can cause lung cancer, as well as another huge variety of diseases. Do not vape. Do not smoke, do not vape. Don't smoke, you know, illicit substances. Because, you know, you are not stronger. just like everyone else, you won't be able to quit. You are not better than everyone else just because you think, oh, I can stop. It's just like gambling. Don't start gambling. Because like, I'm gonna say that it's easier to stop gambling than it is to stop smoking. But with smoking, that's a different issue because you're causing yourself bodily harm if you smoke. And vape. Do not vape. Do not smoke. It is an understanding that I want my entire chat to come to. Don't smoke, don't vape. It is simply not good. Anyway, I'm gonna end stream now. On account of the fact that, I have things to do. My guns, once again, thanks for coming. Remember, do not smoke, do not smoke, do not vape. It's not good. You will regret it. You will regret it for the rest of your life. I promise you this much. I promise you this much. You will regret it forever. And ever. And ever. In other news, we are going to raid Mari, I guess. Because that's what we're gonna do. Let me quickly mute Mari's stream. Go and show Mari some love. Thanks for watching. Don't vape, don't smoke. I cannot emphasize this enough.
Psi or C? God, I haven't studied Mandarin in a really long time. Is it Psi or C? The X